6.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Stella Inger.
And I'm Guy Atchley. Tonight, a 9 on Your Side investigation into a staffing crisis at the Southern Arizona VA that's affecting the care of our vets.
A crisis that insiders say came close to the Phoenix scandal. However, Southern Arizona VA administrators managed to escape scrutiny after an internal review in 2014. For the first time, staff speaking out to expose a broken system and accused cover-ups. 9 News Side's Valerie Cavazos investigates.
Gary Riggs loves to fish, bass specifically, but he finds it hard to schedule the time. You see, the Vietnam-era veteran has only a few quality hours a day to work with, instead spending most of his time in bed in constant severe pain from the rods in his neck and back. He pops a Percocet pill every 3 hours, but the dosage is no longer strong enough.
I refuse to take more than what I'm taking now.
He knows he's addicted. Riggs needs to see a primary care doctor, but he's waited several months. His last appointment in October canceled because his doctor was leaving.
They said they were getting temps in, temporary doctors, and they were having difficulties even getting temps to come in.
Records KGUN9 obtained show his last doctor worked for the Southern Arizona VA just over a year. His doctor before that, 4 years. And we uncovered this startling fact. From 2009 to 2015, of the 244 doctors who left the VA, nearly 80% left within 5 years. Nearly 70% of those doctors left in 1 or 2 years. 38 didn't even make it past 6 months. In other words, the data reveals a high turnover rate of new doctors. Veteran advocate Ed Wagner has been fighting for better care for years and is not at all surprised, calling the Southern Arizona VA
understaffed, broken, and they're not treating the doctors like they should, or nurses.
One frustrated doctor revealed anonymously, for years the doctor worked overtime, even without full pay, to properly care for patients. Often overloaded, the doctor says the VA canceled appointments a few days or weeks before patient visits. And when the doctor spoke up, the doctor was told to deal with it. Wagner has piles of emails sent to him by veterans, frustrated they're stuck in the scheduling system. An anonymous VA scheduler revealed to KGUN9 staff was told to manipulate the appointments because the VA is understaffed. I spoke to several veterans and it's the same story. Appointments canceled days or weeks before and then rescheduled months later or left in limbo. Why don't the veterans come forward? They say that they fear retaliation. They'll lose their care. And it's not just the veterans who fear retaliation.
I am a whistleblower. I've been retaliated against.
Lena Cruz is a medical supply technician, employed 20 years at the Southern Arizona VA, recently in infection control. She says over the past 5 years, management pushed overworked staff to cut corners, resulting in, for example, reusable medical equipment for colonoscopy procedures not being properly decontaminated.
When you have less people, you tend to rush things through and are not as thorough. It's kind of like washing dishes fast. You're going to leave stuff on the dishes. You're not going to rinse them well.
And she says testing procedures were falsified. For example, when disposable devices failed quality assurance tests, staff manipulated logbooks to reflect the devices had passed the tests.
Certain rules and regulations, and they weren't being followed because they wanted the quantity of work put out.
Cruz says when she spoke up, she was investigated and removed from her job. She's filed complaints in U.S. District Court, the VA Office of Inspector General, and Office of Special Counsel, detailing her concerns of widespread mistreatment and mismanagement. Veteran advocate Ed Wagner has also complained to VA administrators, dating as far back as 2009.
Do you think that they were just trying to sweep it under the rug here?
Most definitely, most definitely. Everybody that we've ever talked to just says, well, we'll look into it. We'll look into it, but nothing's ever truly been done.
Come on, we served our country. At least the Veterans Administration can take care of us. And I just don't see it happening.
Meanwhile, the proud veteran longs for a time he can spend a whole day, chasing bass out on the lake. Valerie Cavazos, KGUN9 on your side.
KGUN9 was first to report VA Director Jonathan Gardner stepped down January 4th.
We requested an interview last Thursday with the acting director, Jennifer Gutowski, who was the associate director under Gardner. We have yet to hear back. During the VA crisis, Senator Bernie Sanders, the former chairman of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, was criticized for waiting so long to act on the scandal. As he now looks to take over the Oval Office, this issue follows him. At last night's CNN town hall, the question was brought up again.
And I think, your point is fair that we should have acted sooner. We should have known what was going on in Phoenix, those long waiting lines and the lies that some administrators were telling us.
Sanders also defended the overall record on Veterans Affairs, saying last year's VA reform bill is going further than any other by giving the department $15 billion to help the troubled agency.
A Suntran driver punched in the face. Now police on the hunt for who did it. The assault happened on Roger and Oracle. Tucson police say the man not only punched the driver, but lifted his shirt to show off his gun. He then ran away with a girl. Police are now on the hunt for them. If you have any information, please call 911 or 88 Crime. An update on the deadly pedestrian accident this morning. Tonight we learned 54-year-old Louis Lebbia did not cross in the crosswalk on Grant and First Avenue, causing this cab to hit Lebbia and again hit by another car. He died at the hospital. Tucson police did not find speed or impairment were factors in the collision.
An Arizona inmate who's been on death row for more than 30 years will now spend the rest of his life behind bars instead. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals just overturned Robert Douglas Smith's death sentence. The court ruled that he was intellectually disabled at the time and shouldn't have been sentenced to death. Smith was convicted in 1982 for the kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder of Sandy Owen, a hitchhiker.
Now, your first warning weather with Chief Meteorologist Aaron Christensen.
Clear skies, warm temps here in the valley and atop Mount Lemmon, still looking at some snow and mostly clear skies as well. If you're headed up this weekend, tomorrow expect 41 degrees for a high at Summerhaven. Saturday, though, 44, 50 on Sunday. Perfect weather, sunshine at every elevation. Our temperature today, as far as a high was concerned, at Tucson, 61 degrees. The same Nogales, 56, Wilcox, 53, Sierra Vista. Coming up, even warmer weather on the way. Yeah, when the 80s will return. And are you having a party this weekend? I'll let you know if you want that outdoors or in coming up.
Thanks, Aaron. A deadly horse virus has a racetrack on lockdown in Phoenix. Now, the spreading disease has some people worried about the Tucson Rodeo, the impact on this year's show.
And traveling in style, where the new Greyhound is moving to and when you can go and start using that location. You're watching KGUN9 on your side.